Hey guys, it's your best boxing friends. I'm Kelsey. This is Rachel. Vasyl Lomachenko announced his next fight April 12th in Los Angeles against Anthony Crolla. A quick glance at the odds shows me that the only people that are going to make any money for this fight is Vasyl Lomachenko, because he's a huge favorite in a fight against a fighter who, while is popular perhaps in England, isn't an elite world level fighter. I think you said it best when I told you who he's fighting next. What did you say?
I said, who's that?
Exactly. Who is that? What do you think about this fight being next for Lomachenko? And do you wish that he would fight better competition? Did I seed your answer?
Yeah. So on the one hand, I don't mind like stay busy fights.
This is it.
I get that fighters need to stay busy, and I want them to stay busy, and so on that, from that perspective, I'm okay with it. But on the other hand, there's a reoccurring thing that happens in boxing, which is like a fighter comes up, and in some cases they're eager for their guy to fight whoever.
Yeah.
And then they hit a certain level, and all of a sudden they like back way off of fighting. Having competitive opponents that they face in the ring.
Yeah. I think it's especially difficult when you have a fighter as good as Vasyl Lomachenko to find competitive opponents, because he's got one of the lightweight title belts, and you think, oh, well, he can fight this other lightweight title holder, or he could fight the number one contender. But in reality, when you're as elite as Lomachenko, you kind of have to think outside of the box. And that means moving up in weight, which he's already done a lot, or finding other elite pound-for-pound people to come meet you at weights, which is what he did with Guillermo Rigondeaux, dominated and stopped Rigondeaux. So I don't really know if you're top rank. And the other thing you have to consider is that top rank, this is one of their biggest commodities right now, right? I guess with Tyson Fury signing, he'd be the number 3. But you've got Terence Crawford, Vasyl Lomachenko, and Tyson Fury. And they're heavily invested. They've been promoting Vasyl Lomachenko since he turned professional, or at least very near that, and so I can see how they want to keep doing this. What's interesting to me is when they do that with a fighter like Lomachenko, they're like, well, here he's fighting in New York, and now he's fighting in Los Angeles, so they got all these big media hubs to try to get publicity.
Yeah.
Just think it's a really hard sell when you look and he's like a minus 10,000 favorite. That means if I put $10,000 on him to be Anthony Crolla in the American odds format, if he wins, I won $100. That is crazy insane. He's a huge favorite.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if there's anything to really even do about this. It might just be a thing where I'm frustrated about it, and that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
Because I also understand that just because you have a really great fighter, you do have to guide his career. Like, you don't want to throw fighters in too soon with. And I get that whole thing. I think it's just hard when you've built a narrative since his professional debut that he is the best boxer ever.
I remember hearing that about him when he was still literally in the womb. That's different, but
it's just hard when you hear that narrative, because then you're pushing that narrative, and then you're also you also have to guide his career in a way that makes sense.
You gotta maximize his earning potential.
Maximize earning potential, and you might be saying he's the best boxer ever, but it doesn't mean that you as the promoter aren't using you a little bit more rational and not as heavy-handed.
Usually just hyperbole.
Yeah, and so you don't want to throw him in because too soon with people, because then his career's over. Yeah. So I get that. It's just frustrating to be the boxing fan and be like, wait a minute, you've been saying how great you are. It feels like forever, and why am I not getting you against top level competition?
Yeah, it's especially, I think, for me, disappointing in light of the fact that the most obvious super fight for Lomachenko would be against Mikey Garcia, and we know that the reason the fight isn't happening has a lot to do with both having different promoters, but at the same time, you've got a guy in Mikey Garcia who's willing to step up, to move up 2 different weight classes, to fight the best welterweight he can find in Earl Spence. So we know that he'll take difficult fights. He's a underdog in that fight, a significant underdog. Maybe not a Anthony Crolla versus Vasyl Lomachenko underdog, but an underdog in that fight. And I think we'd all much rather see Mikey Garcia versus Vasyl Lomachenko And heck, while we're at it, we'd rather see Earl Spence versus Terrence Crawford. Instead, those fights aren't happening, and we get fights like Lomachenko versus Crolla. But you know what the answer to this problem in boxing is if you, the boxing fan, like, comment, and subscribe. You know, we're very grateful to talk to you, our best boxing friends, about boxing because we love boxing. We already talk about it to ourselves, and we just want to talk with you about it. And maybe, just maybe, we, the best boxing fan group in the world, can band together and demand the biggest and best fights. And when we do, we will use a voice like this.